We are already in March and we are approaching the business end of the season. Well, it was interesting over the weekend in major leagues across Europe, especially the English Premier League, the German Bundesliga, and of course the Italian Serie A. We are getting to the point where if you are challenging for the Premier League title, any points that you drop right now or win, we can't at the end of the season. Welcome to another edition of Sports Hangout, where we give the latest in the ever-busy world of sports. We want to do a review of the big talking points, what happened over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday in the English Premier League, and of course in other leagues across Europe. My name is Toby. Let's start with the English Premier League. Before we talk about the Super Sunday that happened yesterday, let's start with Tottenham Hotspur. They lost away to Fulham at Craven Cottage. That will be the second match that Spurs manager Hugo Tudor will be losing. And then, if you look at the Premier League log right now, it's not looking good for Tottenham Hotspur because they've lost 2 matches on the bounce and they are just 4 points above the relegation zone. Will Tottenham Hotspur be relegated at the end of the season? Only time will tell. For 10 matches, they have not won a game in the Premier League. And, I mean, it's looking very dicey for Tottenham Hotspur. Last season, they finished 17th. This season, they are just hanging on. If they continue losing like this, maybe at the end of the season, they will fall into the bottom 3. So it's not looking good for Tottenham Hotspur. And they lost again to Fulham at Craven Cottage. Alex Iwobi scored a fantastic goal for Fulham over the weekend. I so much love that goal. The second goal that he scored for Fulham. So at the end of 90 minutes, Fulham defeated Tottenham Hotspur by 2-1. Let's talk about Manchester United. I mean, fantastic performance against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. They considered first in the 3rd minute of that game, and we thought maybe Crystal Palace will hand Michael Carrick his first defeat as the United manager, but United turned things around in the second half. Benjamin Sesko scored. United got a penalty converted by Bruno Fernandes, and of course Benjamin Sesko continued his fantastic form for Manchester United. I mean, arguably is the most informed striker in the Premier League right now because he's been involved in the goals for United for the last 8-9 games. So Michael Carrick could be very happy, and that result means that United have moved to 3rd on the Premier League table. Now, interesting, Manchester United have started the season on a bad note. Under Ruben Amorim, they were losing games. As a matter of fact, at the time, they were close to relegation waters. But right now, if you check the Premier League log, Manchester United are now 3rd behind Manchester City and, of course, Arsenal, because they have a superior goal difference than Aston Villa. Now they are 3rd on the Premier League table. So, fantastic performance by United, coming back from a goal down over the weekend at Old Trafford to defeat Crystal Palace. It ended Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. So, fantastic performance. Benjamin Sesko, I mean, he started United, struggling, but right now he's getting the goals for United. He started over the weekend, just probably his 5th start for United this season in the Premier League. And of course, he has been able to make it count for United. He's been scoring goals. He's in form right now. United are flying. And if you look at Manchester United this year, they've won practically all their games under Michael Carrick. The only game that they didn't win was that draw away to West Ham United some weeks ago. So congratulations to Man United for that fantastic win over the weekend. Now, from Man United, let's cross over to Liverpool. On Saturday, Liverpool did something remarkable. I mean, they scored 4 goals from set piece. I mean, they used to call Arsenal set piece FC, but how do you explain Liverpool scoring 4 goals from the corner kick over the weekend against West Ham at Anfield? It ended Liverpool 5, West Ham 2. Fantastic result for the Red Liverpool. Well, Liverpool have been having a kind of resurgence in form. I mean, they started the season very well. At the time, their form dipped. But for the past 5 games, they've been winning games. Definitely. Last week, they left it late against Nottingham Forest. And of course, they defeated West Ham, who are also threatened by relegation because they are not safe from relegation. In fact, they are in the bottom 3 right now. I'm talking about West Ham United. They lost 5-2 to Liverpool at Anfield. Liverpool scored 4 goals through set play. So I don't know why they are saying Arsenal is corner FC. Maybe we'll start talking about Liverpool as well as the team that likes scoring with corner. I mean, 4 in a game. That's incredible. Thumbs up to Liverpool. Fantastic results. They are just trying to ensure that they finish in the top 4, top 5, as the case may be. And let's go to another club. Talk about Manchester City. On Saturday, I mean, it was a game that we knew it was going to be very tough against Leeds United, because Leeds United is the team that will attack you. They don't defend. So at the Elland Road, that was a late kickoff on Saturday. Manchester City did what they had to do. Yeah, I mean, this is the business end of the season. You don't need to play pretty to win games. Just ensure that you get 3 points. They needed to win to push on to close in on Arsenal, and they got a win at the Elland Road. Antoine Semenyo, fantastic signing from Bournemouth. He's been scoring goals for Manchester City. I mean, I must say that City actually got their winter transfer market very well. They got McGahey from Crystal Palace for £20 million, and of course Antoine Semenyo joined from Bournemouth for excess of £60 million. Now, if you look at performance of Antoine Semenyo, it's been fantastic since he joined Manchester City. He scored the only goal for them over the weekend against Leeds United. Well, Leeds, they have themselves to blame because they had a lot of scoring chances in the first half, especially through Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he didn't make it count. City scored just before halftime, Antoine Semenyo, and that was enough for Manchester City to get all 3 points. Now, at a particular time in that game, City started defending, and that's what I've told people in recent times, that see, it doesn't matter. Even Pep Guardiola now knows that what is important is 3 points. Just imagine Manchester City defending against a team like Leeds United. Leeds is not Man United, it's not Arsenal. Leeds is not Liverpool. But City had to defend to protect that one-goal lead over the weekend at Elland Road. So congratulations to Manchester City. They needed to win that game to reduce Arsenal's gap at the top of the table to just 2 points before Arsenal gets to play against Chelsea on Sunday. So they needed that victory, and they got that victory courtesy of a lone strike from Antoine Semenyo, who has been fantastic since he joined from Bournemouth earlier in the winter. Let's cross over to the games on Sunday, and let's start with the biggest. Arsenal knew that because Manchester City won their game on Saturday, they needed to beat Chelsea. 3 points or nothing for Arsenal. That was the aim against Chelsea at the Emirates Stadium yesterday, and then they scored 3 goals. Arsenal scored all the 3 goals yesterday. They scored all the 3 goals through corner kicks. Yeah, I know that they call Arsenal Corner FC, and they made it count yesterday. The first goal, William Saliba scored the first goal for Arsenal, and then just before halftime, when Arsenal thought that, well, they were going to take that 1-goal lead into halftime, Chelsea got an equalizer. Reece James corner kick that was converted in by Arsenal defender Pero Nkampi. So it was 1-1 at the end of first half. The second half started. Julian Timber, well, is one of Arsenal's most dependable defenders this season. He showed up yesterday, scoring a good goal for Arsenal. Second goal, it ended Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1 at the Emirates Stadium. It was a nervy finish for the Gunners because, I'm very sure Arsenal fans, in the last 2-3 minutes, their heart was in their mouth because Chelsea was pressing Arsenal. They wanted to get that equalizer, but unfortunately, Arsenal won that game by 2-1. So let's talk about Chelsea right now. Something happened over the weekend. Just like last week, they got a red card. If Arsenal is called Corner FC, Chelsea is now Red Card FC because Chelsea this season have gotten 7 red cards in the Premier League. I don't even know. I don't have any adjective to qualify Chelsea right now. They've been very, very poor in that aspect. In the first leg at Stamford Bridge, it was Moises Caicedo that got a red card. And then over the weekend, they were playing against Arsenal again. Pedro Neto got a second yellow card and it was sent off by the centre referee after that tackle on Gabriel Martinelli. So I think it's an issue that Chelsea will need to look into. We thought that it was Enzo Maresca's problem, but they have a new manager right now in Liam Rossini, but they still continue getting red cards. So it's difficult to rationalize what is happening at Chelsea, what is happening at Stamford Bridge. I don't know if their fans can understand as well. I'm very sure even the manager is also perplexed about what is happening at Stamford Bridge. So Chelsea got a red card over the weekend and they lost to Arsenal Football Club. So not good enough for Chelsea. Now, if you look at Chelsea, in fact, you can practically choose a first 11 of Chelsea that have gotten red card this season because I remember earlier in the season, Robert Sanchez got a red card. He's a goalkeeper. Even Enzo Maresca has been sent off before. Yes, former Chelsea manager. That tells you that it runs in the blood of Chelsea. I don't know why every time you make a silly mistake, then you get a red card. If you're on a yellow card as a player, even as an attacker, you should know that you have just one lifeline. If you make a mistake the second time, you'll be given a red card. So if you are on a yellow card, you should be extra cautious to make tackles. But I don't know why they keep getting that. They got a red card over the weekend. They lost to Arsenal. Now, for Chelsea, it doesn't get easier for Chelsea because right now they are outside the top 4, and Manchester United third. Liverpool also won over the weekend, so it's a problem for Chelsea. And then their next Premier League game is away to Aston Villa. So Chelsea will need to buckle up. They need to start getting the wins. You also remember, Chelsea will still play Man United, though. Chelsea will still play Manchester City. So, I mean, they have big games ahead of them. And then they need to make the top 4, top 5, as the case may be. So, but a bit of stats now. Arsenal have beaten Chelsea 3 times this season in all competitions. 2 times in the English Football League. 1 time in the Premier League. So, they've met 4 times. Arsenal have won 3. And then Chelsea drew. That was at Stamford Bridge. Now, for Arsenal fans, it's a good news. The last time Arsenal defeated Chelsea 3 times in a season was 2003-2004 season. Guess what? Arsenal won the Premier League title that season. Will history repeat itself? I mean, it's happening again this year. The last time Arsenal defeated Chelsea 3 times in the season was 2003-2004. So that was an invisible season. They won the Premier League title. They've done that again this season. Will Arsenal win the Premier League title? Only time will tell. Of course, it promises to be interesting. And, I mean, it was really intense over the weekend. I mean, things challenging for the Premier League title. I'm very sure that City fans were really excited when Leon Delap scored that late equalizer. They thought they've equalized, but of course, it was an offside goal for Chelsea. So Chelsea will need to come around. I mean, maybe Chelsea is regular customer to Arsenal. I mean, just imagine you have played against a team. It's same team 4 times this season. You have lost 3 times. For Liam Rossinier, do you know that since Liam Rossinier became the Chelsea manager, he has only lost 3 matches in that competition. All the 3 times he has lost to Arsenal. It's like Arsenal is the prem of Liam Rossinier. I mean, other teams are not. But for Arsenal, whenever you face Arsenal, it's always sure that you are going to lose. That's what Arteta is telling Liam Rossinier right now. So it promises to be interesting. We are entering the business end of the season. It's already March. You can't afford to drop points. Right now is where teams become very tired. Teams become very weary. Teams start dropping points. Like I said the other time, Tottenham Hotspur, right now they are in a relegation dogfight. Will they escape relegation? Only time will tell. Let's move to the German Bundesliga, and before we wrap up the review show, over the weekend, the Klassiker, they call it the Klassiker Derby in Germany, Bayern Munich up against Borussia Dortmund. It was at the Signal Iduna Park, the home ground of Borussia Dortmund, but Bayern Munich showed why they are still the most successful team in German football history. They came back from a goal down. They were fantastic against Borussia Dortmund. Harry Kane scored a brace for Bayern Munich, and people are not talking about Harry Kane enough because this guy has scored 50 goals already this season. I mean, 50 goals, and this is just March. It means that you can still score more. Just one player has scored 50 goals for Bayern Munich across all competitions this season, and that is Harry Kane, England captain. Fantastic for the Bavarians. They are still in the Champions League. They are top of the German Bundesliga table. I mean, I think we should expect a lot from Bayern Munich. Over the weekend, Barcelona won their game against Villarreal. Later on Monday, it's going to be Real Madrid taking on Getafe. Now, for Real Madrid, they know they can't afford to drop points because with the win of Barcelona over the weekend, they've extended their gap at the top to 4 points. So they need to win today to reduce that gap to 1 point. Remember, there is still the El Clasico that will come up later in the season. Maybe that one will determine who eventually wins the Spanish La Liga team. But just like we have in the Premier League between Arsenal and Manchester City, it's also the same scenario in the Spanish La Liga. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid trying to exchange position. And Barcelona right now, they are 4 points clear at the top of the table, although they are playing a game more than Barcelona, than Real Madrid. Real Madrid will get to play their own game today. If they win, they will close the gap to just 1 point. So interesting result over the weekend. It doesn't get easier because we have games on Tuesday and Wednesday in the Premier League. So I'm just imagining, you played on Saturday and Sunday, and we are still talking about what happened over the weekend, but the Premier League is the Premier League. 40 hours later, you are already playing. This week, we have games. I mean, for example, Newcastle United will take on Manchester United. It's a big game that we should look forward to on Wednesday. Brighton, Arsenal is a big game. Aston Villa, Chelsea. I mean, just imagine. Chelsea, they are outside the top 4. Aston Villa, well, they've been displaced by Manchester United from the top 3. I'm very sure they want to bounce back against Chelsea. So, Chelsea fans, you need to buckle up. Well, that's the wrap on the review show. We'll be back some other time. I remain Toby, but don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Subscription is free. And of course, we'll be willing to hear from you. Thank you.